Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And again, as always, please silence your cell phones. My name is Muhammad. I'm the Executive Director here at the Jerusalem Fund and Palestine Center. And on behalf of our Board of Directors and staff, it's a pleasure to welcome you here. It's also, of course, a pleasure to welcome everybody watching online as well. It's also a great pleasure to introduce and welcome our distinguished speaker, Ahmed Oudeh, who will be speaking about life under occupation in the agricultural town of Beit Ummar, which is a town located near the Palestinian city of Hebron or Al-Khalil. The agricultural community of Beit Ummar, which has a population of almost 19,000, has faced historic, frequent, if not daily and nightly incursions from Israeli forces, including the destruction of vital infrastructure, limiting water supplies, searches, raids, and attacks on homes, confiscation of money and jewelry, showers of sewage, believe it or not, and jailing of primarily young males and even children. Inspired by concepts of nonviolent strategic action, Ahmed Oudeh, along with others, launched a movement in 2007 to work directly with Israelis who believe in peace and the rights of Palestinians. This work laid the foundation for creating Eshraqah Youth Organization in Beit Ummar, which focuses on grassroots nonviolent action, community empowerment, and sustainable agriculture. Eshraqah seeks to introduce a model of development built and run by workers' groups in their communities. In addition to developmental programs in Beit Ummar, Eshraqah has been involved in local and international conferences to promote strategies of nonviolent action to bring together Israelis opposing the occupation and Palestinian communities. Some of the local work has included summer camps for Palestinian youth with topics ranging from sports to nonviolent conflict resolution. And just to give a little bit of a biography about Ahmed, he is from the agricultural town of Beit Ummar in the southern West Bank of Palestine. He is a specialist in agricultural engineering, and his work with Eshraqah Youth Organization combines grassroots peace and justice work in his community, with a dedication to the agricultural tradition that supports his family. He is outspoken on challenging the Israeli policy of occupation and has been sought by the international press to talk about strategies of peaceful action. Oudeh and Eshraqah play a critical role in dispersing information regarding the daily realities of life under Israeli occupation. Many from the international community have been introduced to the nonviolent movement because of the work of Eshraqah. And just a little bit of also for us to add here, Eshraqah is actually one of the organizations that we've given a grant to. We have a humanitarian program that here at the Jerusalem Fund, and a couple of years ago we gave them a grant to build a greenhouse in Beit Ummar, which the purpose of which is to prevent there's a lot of settlements in that region, and many of them try to expand and encroach on Palestinian land. And so the purpose of the greenhouse is to try to help stop these settlements from expanding. And they do excellent work. And so, Ahmed, we'd like to thank you very much for everything you do over there. Also, for more information about Eshraqah, you can go to www.eshraqah, which is ESHRAQAH.org, where you can support their organization. You can donate to them. For everybody here, they have some products from the women in their local communities, some jam and some, I think, jewelry, some local products that you can buy afterwards. So please, if you have a chance, you can purchase some of them and help support their community. Ahmed will speak for 30 to 40 minutes, after which we will have a Q&A session. And we ask that you all wait, again, as always, for the mic to come to you so that everybody online can hear. And for our online audience, you can tweet your questions to @Palestine Center. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Ahmed Oudeh.
Hello all, and thank you for hosting me here today. Actually, before I start my presentation, if you have any question regarding the presentation, you can stop me anytime and just ask me. I don't want you to forget your question in the first place. So, to begin my presentation, first, I want to talk briefly about Palestine in 1947, and in 1947 and 1948, it was less land, and 1967, the West Bank and Gaza Strip only was Palestine, and the rest was for Israel. And nowadays, even the West Bank is full of Israeli illegal settlements, so you can see only the green portion represent Palestine. Today I'm going to speak about the occupation in my town, Beit Ummar. The location of Beit Ummar, it's located between Hebron and Bethlehem. Hebron in the south and Bethlehem here in the north of the West Bank. And here is here. Yeah, so maybe I can do it by here. It's better. Yeah. So maybe this map is a little complicated to you, but it represents Beit Ummar here, and all of these blue areas are settlement. And Beit Ummar before used to be, all of this was Beit Ummar, but nowadays only this big is Beit Ummar. It's about, nowadays, it's about, you can say 50 kilometers in diameter. It's Beit Ummar, and all of these are Israeli settlement. Beit Ummar is basically surrounded by 6 illegal settlements. The population of Beit Ummar is almost 19,000 people, and it's used to be an agricultural town. It used to be because reasons I will speak about it in this presentation, but Beit Ummar is mostly and mainly are famous for its grapes and apples, and 70% of its population are farmers. We had lots of youth in our community. More than 6,000 people are under the age of 18, so Beit Ummar is basically considered also as a youth community. And Beit Ummar resides near the Road 60 or Jerusalem-Hebron Road. This road is used for mostly for the settlers, and sometimes it's used for the Palestinians, but of course under the Israeli rules. Beit Ummar is located in area B and C. I don't know if you know the terms A, B, C, but area A is fully controlled by the Palestinian Authority. It's like Ramallah. Area B is controlled by both the Palestinian Authority and the Israeli Authority. And Area C is fully controlled by the Israeli Authority. But this division A, B, C only on the map. In real life, everything is C. Everything is fully controlled by the Israeli. Even in Ramallah, when the Israeli army, they surrounded Yasser Arafat, our president before, they came to Ramallah and they surrounded him in his, we call him HQ. So everything in life is real is C. The main problem in my town is the nightly military raids, which is was happening daily, but nowadays every 2 days we will have a nightly military raid. When we have nightly military raids, they come with lots of numbers and they come masked and have lots of dogs with them. And someone asked me before in Colorado, he asked me that the nightly military raids, it costs the Israeli army too much. Why they do it? Actually, they do it because it's free for them. It's from your tax money. So they will do it, of course. And the second problem in my town is the arrest and imprisonment. In the Israeli jails, there are 300 kids in all Palestine, in Israeli jails. 1/3 from those kids are only from Beit Ummar. Because like I said, Beit Ummar is a youth committee and also an agriculture committee, and more than 70% of unemployment rate lies in my village. So there's many arrests in my village. The third problem in my village is the settlement expansion. Beit Ummar is surrounded by 6 Israeli illegal settlements, and all the settlements in the Palestinian law are illegal, but in the Israeli law are legal. But there is one settlement only in whole the West Bank. It's illegal in the Israeli law and the Palestinian law. All the settlement, they started as an outpost for the soldiers. Then the soldiers move from this outpost, and the settlers, they come, and the government, they began to build houses for them. But this settlement is called Beit Ain. It's around Beit Ummar. It did not begin as an outpost, and the settlers, they just come and they start building houses, random houses. So that's why they are illegal in the Israeli law. But they treat as the same as any other settlers. They get the same benefits as any other settlers, as free gas, free salary or income, and other things. But they can use it as an excuse in front of anyone who come. Like once 6 years ago, we came with the U.S. ambassador near the settlement, and we tried to plant all the trees there. But the settlers, they come and they told the U.S. ambassador, you have 5 minutes to evacuate from here or we will kill you. So he just ran away with his bodyguards. The next day when he told Israel about this incident, Israel told him that those settlers are illegal, so they cannot do anything about them. But in real life, they are legal for them. Land confiscation, I don't remember the numbers many years ago, but 2 years ago, there were more than 2,000 acres was confiscated from Beit Ummar. but I don't remember the exact numbers before. The road 60, I told you, Beit Ummar lies near the road 60. It's the main road that's used by settlers which connect Jerusalem to Hebron. And the main problem nowadays is water. And in my town, Beit Ummar, we only get water once every 2 weeks. This is a main problem now, and it's getting bigger and bigger because we only get water once every 2 weeks. This is the main entrance for my town. As you see, in every village, every Palestinian village is the same story. You will find an Israeli tower and a gate, a main gate. And if the Israeli want to punish the whole town, they just will close the gate. And always the Israeli army or the Israeli soldiers all the time are near the main gate. And as I told you before, if they want to punish the town, they just close the gate. If there is a city near us, it's called Hebron, Al-Khalil. It's only 20 minutes to go there. But when they close the gate, it will take us up to 3 hours to go to the Hebron from another road. So they do this just to punish the towns. So in our resistance, we changed the way we did from violence into non-violence in 2007. This, at least it's a violence in the Israeli eyes, not in our eyes. Because when you throw a stone against a tank, I don't think the tank will be harmed at all. But it's violence in the Israeli eyes. So we took a step and we changed the resistance into this way. It's a non-violence way where we don't do anything. We just stand and shout. And this, even in this way, it's not good enough for you. You must have international presence with you and the media coverage, because most of the time the Israeli army, they will beat you in this demonstration, even if we're non-violent. I myself got many times, and in 2016, the Israeli, they caught me in one of these demonstrations, and they hit me in part of my brain, and they gave me a certain type of injury. So I cannot concentrate anymore, and I cannot participate in this action anymore. Because if you want to participate in these actions, you must run. You must have to know how to run, because they will start shoot gas and sound bullets and everything. And I cannot run anymore, so I don't participate in this demonstration anymore. Also, these are the same thing, the non-violence demonstration. When we do it against the land confiscation, we must have international presence with us and media coverage. This demonstration, we did it because of the right of movement. That road is the road 60. It's controlled by the Israeli, and we decided to let them taste something that we suffer from. So we closed the road for 5 hours, but the Israeli army, they came and they beat us and they arrested all of us. This man he is an Israeli activist. So even in our demonstration, we have some Israeli activists, and we have international activists, and we have the media coverage. So even in this demonstration, you will not be safe. As I told you before, you will be harmed and you will get beaten. So this demonstration was organized by Beit Ummar municipality and with us. But Beit Ummar municipality is considered as the Palestinian Authority, so they are not allowed to go to a C territory, so they are allowed only to come to a B territory. And even if you are a man or a woman, it does not, they don't care. If you are participating in this demonstration, you will get beaten, even if you are a man or a woman. This demonstration, we do it against the arrest of children, and we had lots of children with us, but the Israeli army, they came and they arrested many of the children. They were with us in the demonstration, so I guess our message did not be heard from them. And here also, her name is Salwa Abu Ayyash. She was arrested because she was participating in nonviolent demonstration. So also, if you are a boy or a girl, it does not matter. You will be arrested from these soldiers. This boy is my cousin. His name is Hamza Abu Maria. He was attacked by these dogs, and when we raised his case to the court and we try to help him and to make a good judgment from the court for him, they rejected the case and they told us they cannot do anything for him. This is an example for how the people get demolition orders in Area C. So in Area C, most of the buildings in Area C are agriculture, because agricultural project in Area C maybe there is a chance that you can save them, but if you building houses in Area C and you get a demolition order, you cannot save it, so it will be demolished. So you can save from every 100 agricultural project in Area C, we save 20 projects out of 100, but from houses we did not save any house. We cannot save anyone in Area C. This is an example for a settlement called Gosh Atzion settlement, and every season they do this and they throw their sewage water to the farmer land, so they will let the farmers not to harvest their crops from grapes or other things. And these pictures are from a different season. And I asked once a woman, a Jewish woman, she asked me and she told me these pictures we called the mayor of Gosh Atzion settlement, and these are accident only. I told her, how come it's an accident and they do that every year? So accident means only once, but if they do that every year, so that picture is from a year, and this one is from another one, and here also too from a different year. So how is this is an accident? So this is he was a volunteer in our Eshraqah staff, and he was murdered while he was working with his father in their land, and near the settlement called Karmadzur settlement, and the Israeli army, they shot him dead there. And this is only how we reacted. This is how we can react. We only can give him a proper funeral, and we can throw stones on the tower, and that's it. We cannot do more. These are examples for the night military raids. I said before, they come masked, and they come with dogs, and also they come with lots of numbers. These every 2 days happen in my town nowadays. It was daily, but nowadays every 2 days. This woman was beaten by settlers because she is living in area C near the settlers. She was with her husband on their land, and the settlers, they just came and they started cursing on them. Then they came and then they beat them. This type of harassment is a daily harassment in my town. When you come to the main street, the soldiers will stop you, and most of the times they will take the youngest of your family, and so they will make the father and the brother angry for it. This picture is not in Beit Ummar, but it will be in Beit Ummar later. This is the wall. Are you familiar with the term of the green line? The green line, it represents the official border of Israel, but it does not include the settlement. So now they are doing the wall, building the wall, to include the settlement with the green line. So the green line is not on the same line of the green line. The wall is after the green line. So this sign, you can see it on each Palestinian village, that this is a Palestinian village, and you cannot go there, and it's dangerous for you to go there. But this map is only, this sign is only applied not in real life on the map only, because in real life this sign does not apply at all. So I'm gonna now talk about our organization called Eshraqah Youth Organization. But before talking about Eshraqah, is there anyone want to ask any question about Beit Ummar before we carry? Yeah.
The murder, was that done by a sniper or beating to death? How did the murder happen?
Which murder? Which one?
You have a photograph of a young man.
Yeah. Yeah. There were clashes near a settlement called Karmadzur. So they start shooting everyone around and love ammunition, not sniper. They were start to shoot everyone near the settlement, and they shot him. So it would not by a sniper, by just regular soldiers. Yeah, his name is Yusuf Khlayal. Yusuf Khlayal. Okay, I'm gonna talk now about our organization that we established called Eshraqah Youth Organization, or EYO, the branch of Palestine. We are based in Beit Ummar, and basically we established it in 2008, but we officially registered it in 2012. Eshraqah consists of 3 committees: the agriculture committees, or the farmers, the youth committee, the women committee. The agriculture committee are farmers. We built and like the greenhouses project, which was funded by the Jerusalem Fund and other, and we make land reclamation, and most of these projects we do it in area C in order to maintain the land from being confiscating. Most of the agriculture project we do it in area C. The reclamation, or the olive harvesting also. Each year in the end of October we have the olive harvesting, and when it comes, the Israeli will forbid us to go on to harvest our olives. So most of the times we get the international with us to help us to bake our olive so we can sell it. And this project also mostly in areas like establishing a greenhouse, like the one we took from the Jerusalem Fund. For the youth committee, the security committee or the youth committee, they are responsible for giving lessons and lectures and trainings for the youth. But what is really special about this committee, that they give special training for the youth who are exit from the Israeli jails, because after being in Israeli jails, you will not have a job in the Palestinian or the Israeli areas. And they also do the trainings and the summer camps, the youth committees. And in each year, they distribute food for the poor people in Ramadan. And the third committee and the final committee in the Eshraqah Youth Organization are the Women Committee, which they are responsible for establishing conferences in March, this conference, and they are also responsible for making local products and embroideries and many stuff. And today I got samples for the local products from the women, so if you would like to buy from, just fill in the order and you can order from them. They do also workshops and trips for the women to introduce one. And here is our website if you would like to see more about Eshraqah. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, Ahmed, thank you so much for your presentation.
Yeah.
We hear a lot about the Hebron area and how there's a lot of problems with settlers and with violence from Israeli forces.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people don't realize how bad it really is. And from this presentation, we get a very good idea. I mean, for example, the sewage on the on the agricultural land, that's a huge problem. Like you said, it's not an accident when it happens every year. My first question was about the water issue. You said the water comes once every 2 weeks.
Yes.
So I guess you guys rely a lot on water storage tanks, like
Yes.
khazanat.
Yes.
And so when the water comes, you fill them up,
Yeah.
and then
So yeah, I can clarify this for the audience. We use water tanks above each house. So when the water runs once every 2 weeks, we will fill these tanks. And after we fill them, the water will run only for 6 hours at most. And when it's done, we will use the water in these tanks. Most of the time in the winter season, it's enough. But in the summer season, the water in the tanks will be not enough. So we will buy water tanks. We called it the water tank. We buy for each cubic, for the home usage, it's 5 shekels. It's almost $2. So in the summer season, mostly we buy these tanks, the water tanks, so we can fill all the tanks.
And so, how do you water the crops? Is that also,
No.
or is that different source?
No, it's a different source. Like the one you see. Wait, let me just. So I want to give you a clear idea. This one here. Oh, this one. So the crops we use. It's a system, but in Palestine we call that a well. We are not allowed to dig inside the ground more than 2 meters. And the groundwater, actually, if you want to reach the groundwater, you should at least dig inside the ground 60 meters at least, but we are not allowed to dig more than 2 meters. These systems, we use it to irrigate the crops. Most of the times, these were spilled by the red water, but to be honest with you, also we steal water from settlements to fill these. But
Well, I wouldn't call it stealing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it
it's
stealing.
our water,
Right.
so it's not stealing. So to fill these tanks to make it to the crops, but the tanks like here, this is an example for the tanks. This is only for domestic use only. These tanks only, not for the crops. The crops we use them different systems, but these tanks is only for domestic use, and they are barely enough to cover the domestic use, so we cannot use them also to irrigate the crops. The problem with the stealing water, that when we steal water to fill the system, most systems realize in area C. And like I said, most our houses in area B, not C. Because if you have houses in area C, they will be destroyed. So most our houses in area B. So it's very hard to steal water to get it from area C to area B.
Okay. So my other question, first of all, before I ask, is there any other questions?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for your presentation. I was just in Palestine last month. I was in Susia and Khan al-Amar,
so it's
Area C.
South Hebron House.
And they're all subject to demolition, as you know.
Yeah.
And actually, this is one of my biggest observations, having gone back and forth to Palestine a few times, that not only Beit Ummar, but how many different areas, refugee camps, Berlin, Nabi
Al-Arab
Salah, are
camp
subject
and-
to the routine systematic raids and attacks and tear gassing almost every night.
Yeah.
And I don't really know the question. Maybe just, do you work with other organizations outside? Like, is there more like of a regional strategy? What's your view of the PA, like role, helping or not helping?
Actually, the problem now realize that most of the organization are concentrated to work with the camps. And this is now our villages, like Susi is not a camp, it's a village. So our villages becoming like camps, and camps are becoming more than like villages, because most of the concentration of the work and of the organization are existent in the camps. So they have 24-hour service in the camps, but in the villages we lack from working with many organizations. So to answer your question, most of the organizations work with the camps, not with the villages.
Hi, Ahmed. We had a previous presenter here, Max Blumenthal, and he just finished his book, Goliath. But I wanted to ask you a question on the first half of your presentation with the Israeli protesters that joined you. Could you give us an idea of the numbers of them? From the book I've read, they could be treated almost as badly. That is, beaten, lose their employment, be forced out of the country, and so on. What's been your experience with the Israelis that supported your protest?
Yeah, actually, first of all, they are very few. They are very, very few, and almost they are the same persons every demonstration, just the same 4 or 5 people, and everywhere. Here in Beit Ummar or in Al-Ma'sara, or if you want to demonstrate in Sustia, you will have the same 5 people. But in the demonstration, they will get beaten like you, and they will get arrested like Palestinian. But when they will be in jails, if the Israeli army arrests one Israeli activist and one Palestinian activist in a demonstration, the Palestinian will last a month in the jail, but the Israeli activist will last just 1 hour. So even there is no such as a fair treatment for both sides.
Ahmed, so my question was, my next question, and I hate to bring this up because I'm sure it's not easy for you, but you mentioned you were injured by Israeli forces. So could you give a little more detail about that? And I'm assuming you were doing it. It was a nonviolent protest.
Yeah.
And they just, they started firing on you, or
It was in 2016 in a non-violent demonstration against land confiscation, because like I told you, there is 6 settlements around Beit Ummar, and we had lots of land confiscation in Beit Ummar. So I was in a non-violent demonstration, and things get more hotter and hotter, and the Israeli, they started to beat us. So one soldier, he beated me here with his rifle in part of my brain, and he got me a type of injury. So nowadays I cannot do any kind of sports. I cannot run. I can normal walk, but I cannot run. My concentration is not 100% is good, so I cannot participate in this demonstration anymore, because like I told you, if you want to participate in this demonstration, you should know how to run. And and also it affected my speaking, because maybe because I'm speaking English, you will not notice it very well. But when I speak Arabic, they will recognize it so fast. I speak like Arabic, who like an international who are trying to learn Arabic, not like an Arabic native speaker. So in Arabic, maybe you can notice it, but in English, it's hard for you to notice it because it's a second language for me.
And again, you weren't throwing rocks. You weren't.
No,
you weren't
it's-
attacking
No,
soldiers or anything.
In the non-violence demonstration, that's what we do. We don't throw rocks, we don't do anything. We just stay and we shout only.
And it's something very important. Even everybody watching online and just everybody that sees this video. I think sometimes people don't understand that you can be doing a nonviolent protest where you're not hurting anybody, you're just shouting, and they'll do something like they did
Yeah.
to you, and you'll have to pay the price for the rest of your life. And I think a lot of people, maybe especially here in the U.S. or people who are not Palestinians or familiar with the Palestinian struggle, they don't realize that you can get, life-changing consequences just for speaking out to defend your own rights. And I think that's very important that people...
Yeah.
And again, I'm sorry for having to have you, recall that. I'm sure it was not a good experience, obviously. But thank you for letting us know, because people need to know that this is the kind of violence that Palestinians are exposed to.
Our minister his name is Ziad Abu Ain. He is the minister of the settlement and wall ministry. He was killed during participating in a non-violence demonstration.
Yeah, this was recently, right?
Yeah, maybe you heard about him.
Okay, just 1 second. We have an online question. So, Ahmed, what do you think, what do you believe is the best way forward for Palestinians, and how do you think people can help Palestinians?
I'm not here to talk about the whole Palestinians. I'm sorry, I cannot represent
Okay, for
the
people
Palestinians.
in Beit Ummar, for example.
But I can speak for the people in Beit Ummar because I see what is going on there. So what you can do is you can also be there in Beit Ummar, because the international presence in Area C especially is very important, like you said before, in CC area or other area and C area. The international presence very, very important, and the organization must work more with the Area C, especially to concentrate more with the Area C in order to keep it and to maintain it. But like I said, not only the fund is very important in Area C, the existence of international presence in Area C is also very important.
And so I wanted to follow up. My question was kind of a follow-up to that. So I understand, of course, media coverage is very important for the activities that you have and the protests in Beit Ummar. So do you guys have a Facebook page where you have a schedule of protests, and how can people, help promote your events or just know about what's going on so that they can, on Facebook, share those things, or on Twitter or whatever it is?
Yeah, for the popular committee, we are not allowed to have a website as the popular committee to do the non-violence demonstration. So we only can communicate by phone. to tell others community that we are doing the demonstration.
You're not allowed by who? By the
By the Israeli,
the-
of
okay.
course.
Okay.
So we are allowed to have a website and Facebook page for our former organization, but for our political work, like the nonviolent demonstration, we are not allowed to say anything about it formally.
So what if you are going to have a protest tomorrow and you tell somebody here in the US that we're going to have this and then we share it here? Is that okay?
Yeah, so yeah, this way, actually, but if they will never find that, I am
Okay, okay. Okay. Anybody else have a question?
About the population, you said about 19,000. Is
Yeah.
this number, I assume, in this hard condition, it's shrinking or staying, or people are young people? You said 6,000 people.
Actually, it's shrinking because many of the people who got arrested and he dies, and there is also people who just leave the village and leave the even not the village, even Palestine, the country. They will leave the country, but not all of the people. So the number are shrinking, but at least we got some people there.
Yeah, and you mentioned it's mainly olive and apples, right?
Mainly it's olives and
apples.
no,
No.
olives and grapes.
Okay. Yeah.
Beit Ummar used to have apples,
Oh, that's done now.
but yes, now you will not find any single apple tree because apple needs more water.
Yes.
And we don't have water to
So
irrigate
olive
apple
and
tree. So olives and grapes.
is there any school there, or you have to go another
Yeah,
place?
yeah. We have school. Most of the schools in Palestine, not just in Beit Ummar, in Palestine, most of them were funded by organization, not by our government. So we have a school was funded by Germany, and a school was funded by Italy, and other one from Japan, and the other one it's private donations. So, but not governmental.
And when you mentioned that 5 people, maybe the people, like at least that you give you an example as 5 people are like Israelis are participating.
Yeah.
Are there any international people participating with your demonstration?
Yeah, but the same thing. They are very few.
Very few.
The
It's
same
easy
thing.
for them to join you or not?
What?
It's easy to them. Is it
No,
easy?
it's not easy. Of course, that's why they are very few, because it's not easy to be an international and to come to the West Bank,
Right.
because sometimes in the airport they will give you a hard time.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions? Okay, thank you, Ahmed. And please, everybody, remember Eshraqah.org, ESHRAQAH.org. Please follow them and help in whatever way you can. Check out their Facebook page. And yeah, because I think this is a very tough place to be in Palestine, and they need all the help that we can give them. And again, we're also selling some, they're selling some stuff afterwards, so please grab something if you can to support them. And again, thank you so much, Ahmed, and Brahim, thank you also for coming. We really appreciate it, and we wish you all the best in the future. Thank you.